Hello and welcome to a brand new series of Football Manager 2021 videos. I'm Joe if you're new around here. And make sure you subscribe for daily FM21 content. Today, it is the beginning of predicting the future with FM. We did predicting the 2020 to 21 season yesterday. Today, we are doing 50 years into the future, so it's going to be really interesting. We're in the year 2071 on the 1st of June, so 51 seasons will have passed in this game. How far will football have changed? In the past, I've done up to 500 years. I'm planning to do up to 1,000 years, maybe even more if the game can take it this year, which is going to be really, really cool. So if you're looking forward to it, hit that like button down below. And, of course, subscribe so that you don't miss an episode of this series. Now, I'm going to be looking at the main five leagues in Europe, the big five nations. We're going to look at the World Cup, the Champions League, Ballon d'Or, major transfers, that sort of thing. But please let me know down in the comments if there is anything you want to see. Now, I'm not going to go with the approach of adding more than the five main nations to the save. I know there's lots of people around the world that, might want to see Iceland after 50 years or whatever, but it makes the game absolutely massive and it makes it run absolutely terribly. I want to try and keep it as slick as possible so that you guys, because at the end of all of this, there's going to be save files for every increment of prediction that we do. So there will be in the description for the 50 years. If you want to start a save 50 years in the future, feel free. But eventually you guys will be able to start Football Manager 3071, and I want it to run as quick as it can. So I don't want to add loads and loads of leagues to it. But as you can see, Arsenal are still in the Premier League. So that seems like a logical place to start. Let's have a little look at the makeup of the Premier League table. And wow, it actually doesn't look too crazy. There's nobody really that I'm surprised about in there. Man United have won it. You can see on the right-hand side already there is an element of dominance from the Manchester clubs. But we've got Man United, we've got Manchester City, Brighton, Tottenham, Chelsea, Wolves, Arsenal, Burnley, West Ham, Newcastle, Leeds, Liverpool, down in 12th, Swansea, Aston Villa, Fulham, Sheffield United, Portsmouth, Norwich, Everton, Watford. Now, just to put that into perspective, there's only, let's count how many teams are not in the Premier League at the start of the game, pardon me. So we got Watford, Norwich, Portsmouth, so that's 3. Swansea, that's 4. And that's literally it. There's 4 clubs that are different in the Premier League in 50 years' time. That is insane, and also maybe a little bit worrying of teams yo-yoing, or it could be a complete coincidence. We'll have a little look at it in a minute, but you can see the Premier League's now the second club that second league in the world. It's only just gone down actually, but let's have a look at the past winners and see if there's any big surprises in there. So if we go all the way back down to 2020 to 21, of course, Liverpool won that first season, which you've seen yesterday, and it was sort of a battle between Liverpool, Man United, City, Chelsea in there as well, and you can see, it was generally those clubs that were up there. Wolves finished second in 2048, and Tottenham won it. So it was the sort of Leicester season, if you like, where Leicester and Arsenal finished first and second that year, and sort of totally ruffled the feathers of what was normally going on. And then Newcastle randomly won 2 titles in 3 years. After that, with Burnley winning a title in 2051 to 52. And you can see Burnley and Newcastle do feature heavily over the next decade. They do not win another title, but they are up there in the upper realms of the Premier League. West Ham have got up there now. And Brighton, of course, finished third in the season just gone. But I am absolutely shocked to see how much it has sort of stayed the same. There is a couple of shocks in there, but there's not as many as I think maybe we were predicting when we did this last time. Okay, so that's very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. So let's have a little look at the Championship, just out of curiosity. Is there any more crazy teams in there? Hang on, have Sunderland won the cup or something? Sunderland have won the FA Cup from the Championship. That's insane. Wow. I mean, we will have a look at the past winners of the FA Cup in a second and see if that's something that's commonly happened. I mean, you know, it's looking very much like what League One does at the moment. The likes of Crewe, Bristol Rovers, Fleetwood in there, Plymouth in there. So that's a little bit more interesting. So you can see Derby, Middlesbrough and Birmingham are going to be coming up. Chester were actually up there, which again is an interesting one. League One, you can see some teams down there. Forest Green, Barnet and Morecambe are up there in League One. Torquay United are up there. Interesting. Obviously, if you guys spot anything, you're watching on a much smaller screen than me, probably, as most people seem to watch YouTube videos on phone. So do let me know if I do miss anything. I'm looking for real big shocks down in League Two. I tell you who I haven't. Oh no, I've seen Bolton now. And if we keep going down, we'll be able to see if any clubs have completely fell off the face of the earth. But it doesn't look like it. After 50 years, this is reasonably normal, which is very surprising, to say at the very least. Yeah, I can't actually see anything untoward in here, other than Salford maybe being down as low as they are. Anyone in the... No. There's not really anyone too shocking down here, so that's interesting. So that's the leagues, if you like. Let's have a look at the FA Cup. So Sunderland have just won it against Burnley, it seems insane to say. This is usually where you see some crazy things happen. But Southampton won it in 2024-25. So if you're a Southampton fan, you've got some success to look forward to very soon, according to FM. Tottenham won it. So that'll be their first trophy since the 2008 League Cup, I want to say. Leeds United winning it. That'll be their first trophy for a long time. Tottenham won it a couple of... Fulham, that's an interesting one. Newcastle, of course, but that's towards their spell where they were, a real contender. Wolves are up there, Burnley. But nothing as shocking as Sunderland, ironically enough, considering they have been the one that have done it this season. Let's have a little look if Sunderland ever got back to the Premier League. It doesn't look like it. Oh no, they did. In 2032 they got back to the Premier League. They were a bit of a yo-yo team between League One and the Championship. And then have just been a Championship club for so long. Have Nottingham Forest made it? That's the question I want to know. Have Nottingham Forest made it into the Premier League? Hang on, where are they? They're not there. There they are. Nottingham Forest have just been promoted. Wow, they were so close to heading into League Two. That's crazy. Have they had any spells in the Premier League? No, they haven't. Wow. They had some spells in League Two. Goodness me. Yeah, back in the big time of the Championship now, though. So that'll be interesting going forward to see that storyline develop. So that's the FA Cup then. Let's have a little look at the Carabao Cup. And again, this one tends to be a bit more variable. Tottenham had a bit of a hold on it there by the looks of it. Any interesting clubs winning it? Obviously, you guys keep an eye out for the finalists. Is there any crazy finalists in there? Newcastle winning it a few times, West Ham winning it, but no big shocks in the Carabao Cup. So that's interesting. So let's have a little look at the Champions League. That's the sort of next biggest tournament, if you like. Is there going to be a big dominance from a particular nation, or are we going to see generally the same stuff? And already I can see some crazy things happening. So Man City have won 3 Champions Leagues on the trot at the start of the game. Paris Saint-Germain finally won a Champions League title and have had a lot of success since. Athletic Bilbao managed to win it. Who's CD Lugo? Club Deportivo. Wow. They've managed to win it. Real Sociedad. Oh my word. Stade Brestois. No idea who they are. Never ever heard of them. Apologies if you're a French football fan. Grenoble. Wow, Grenoble. I mean, they're in Liga 2 now. Not long after they won the Champions League last. Real Betis, Le Havre. Look, I mean, that's pretty crazy. Who on earth are QRM? Never ever heard of them. I did not know Liga was sponsored by Uber Eats. That's hilarious. Right, let's have a look at their past winners then. So Paris Saint-Germain, as expected, had a complete dominating streak until 2037, really. Okay, Brestois got in there. Amiens, no idea. Metz, that QRM club. Wow, very different French football. So you got Nantes in there, you got Le Havre, and Grenoble having a 10-year stint of winning it. That's insane. Wow. Very, very, very interesting. Let's have a little look at the La Liga, of course. So Athletic Bilbao have won it this year. They have been a bit of a dominant club, it's fair to say. Atletico Madrid won it in the first year of the save, interestingly enough. Barcelona then won it 4 times on the trot. Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. So nothing crazy happens until Real Oviedo win it in 2032-33. And then Athletic Bilbao, Deportivo, Sociedad. Crazy. Who on earth are these? Sociedad Deportiva Huesca. No idea. Never heard of them. And wow, since 2049, Athletic Bilbao have won pretty much everything since then. They must have an awesome squad. Let's just have a little look at that squad. And whether this guy, Alou, what's his face, has been there for a while. He's been there for 3 years. He's been at Bournemouth, interestingly. Bournemouth in the Championship. Portsmouth. Wow, he did a lot of stuff in England. I guess he was a player for a long, long time. From 2031 until 2058. So that's a 27-year career. Let's have a look at this guy's stats. Was this guy any good? I mean, that's a fairly long career. 23-year career. I guess, was he about 39 when he retired? He was still playing reasonable high-level football, although he did go and play in the K-League for a bit. Interesting. Very interesting. Right, let's go back then. So that's the La Liga. Let's have a look at the Bundesliga these days. Is it going to be our good friends RB Leipzig? Wow, they've had a bit of a spell. So Bayern Munich. And then Borussia Dortmund, of course. Eintracht Braunschweig. Or Schweig. Union Berlin. Paderborn. Again, not a club I'm familiar with. You've got Hanover in there. And then RB Leipzig finally win their first title in 2042 and then start to run away. Eintracht Frankfurt. Up there, and this Paderborn won 4 on the trot. Borussia Mönchengladbach, they won 1 recently. There you go. And then Serie A, the final big league. Juventus I mean, funnily enough, that looks like a reasonably normal table. And if you look at the past winners, let's see how it's gone. So Juve won it until 22-23. Lazio then won a few. Milan, and then Ascoli, Brescia, Sassuolo, Hellas Verona. Interesting. Atlanta. And then, yeah, sort of swapping between them. Roman chipped in with a title. Let's have a little look at the Europa League before we head on to any sort of Ballon d'Or or World Cup performance. And I definitely want to look at the transfers as well. So past winners of the Europa League then, Arsenal in there. Burnley have won a couple. West Ham United, Wolves. So it's interesting because it looks like the English clubs do a lot better in the Europa League than they do in the Champions League, which again is an interesting thing. So yeah, if you see anything crazy in there, let me know. So let's have a little look at the European Championship then. So the European Champion, England are the holders, Ireland, and Wales and Scotland. Wow. The whole nations are doing really well. So, 2021 Euros, Italy won that against Portugal. And then France, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Portugal, Scotland beat England in the final. Goodness me, that would have been a bitter one. And England still haven't hosted any, which is interesting. Scotland and Wales have in 2044. And then Wales won it the next year, or the next time, in France. And then Ireland won it. So we're just passing it around the nations. And then England were about to have their turn. And who else but Portugal stopped us from doing that. Then Ireland won it back in 2064. And England won it in the end there, managed by Daniel Wright. I mean, I'd be shocked if there's any real people left in the whole game, to be honest with you. I would like to have a look at their history of managers though. So if we go back to Gareth Southgate, we then have Quique Sanchez Flores. Sean Dyche did it 2034. Goodness me, he must have been pretty old then. 2034, he would have been 73. Crikey. So how old? So he went on until 63. I do beg your pardon. So he went into his late 60s and then he must have retired after managing Italy. But, well, look at that. Three Lions team. Sean Dyche won the World Cup with England. Luka Milivojevic. But yeah, I start to not see any real names for a while, which is interesting. I'd be interested if things like the goal scoring record has been broken. Chris Brook, 110 goals for England. He retired as a player at 37. He was born in 2013, so he was at least alive when the game started. And he was a Manchester City legend. Apparently didn't score that many goals for club, but certainly did very well for country. So interesting, very, very interesting. Okay, let's have a little look at the Nations League, I suppose, while we're here. Why not the Fabien Barthez Arena in France and Nantes? Does Fabien Barthez have two stadiums named after him? That would be hilarious if he does. So that one was 41,500. That was the top one. That one's 41,000. Oh my word. Fabien Barthez has two stadiums named after him. Oh dear, that's funny. Hillsborough, still standing. Goodness me. 1899 that was built. Its capacity is still only 39,000. Chef Wednesday, wow. Oh, right, so that's the Nations League. And then we've got FIFA World Cup. of course. Hang on. Or maybe it's under a different thing. So we got the FIFA World Cup holders are England. So we're holding... Wow, look at that. We've won the last 3 World Cups. Been very successful in it by the looks of it. So Brazil are going to win the next one in Qatar. And then Holland won it in 2026. Belgium, Brazil, and then England were shown Dyche, of course. And then Portugal, England, Italy, Belgium, Italy, England, England, England. Wow, I'm shocked. Ballon d'Or. Let's have a look. Oh, let's have a little look at who is winning that and how good these guys are. So Ballon d'Or then. So there's a couple of people that are still knocking about. But if we go back to 2020, Lewandowski won it in that first season, and then Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe had a huge spell on the competition. When did he retire? Retired at 37, so in 2035. Interestingly enough, did he ever sign for anyone else? No, he didn't. He actually had a year for the reserve team. That's very sad, isn't it? But there you go. What about Ronaldo? Yeah, he stayed at Juve, retired at 39, so he retired in 2024, which is quite late for Cristiano. Messi, yeah, he stayed at Barcelona at 25. Interesting. And Luka Modric, yeah, stayed at Real Madrid. So most of these guys stayed where they were. What about Kaká? No, he doesn't get a tribute to him. None of these do. Oh, Zidane. There you go. He retired at 67. So in the year 2039 or something, which was crazy. So where'd he go? He went to Liverpool, and then he went to Milan. So he was at Real Madrid. Okay, and then he left at the end of 2033. Wow, he was there a long time. And then he went to Liverpool. But didn't really do a lot there. Decided to call it a day. So let's have a little look at some of these guys. This Laurent Dennis, he's a coach. He's only 47, so we can have a look at his career stats. Yeah, he's all right, isn't he? You can see, he went to the Toon in 2059-60, scored 10 goals in 34 appearances, but in the La Liga, very, very, very good. 32 million he went to Burnley, which I guess isn't that much for a player of his calibre by the looks of him. Gerald Neville, interesting, looks like a striker. So, and then this guy, Longinus Chukwu, plays for Man City. Joined them for 78 million from Tottenham, so he came through the Tottenham youth system. Is this guy English? He is. Well, no wonder that. I mean, he's going to break the scoring record, isn't he? 131 caps and 104 goals. Surely he's going to break it. Look at this for consistency. 30, 27, 32, 32, 21, 24, 24, 23, 22, 18, 16. Wow, that is consistency at its best. Let's just have a little look at most goals in a season for a player. Oh, that's an old record. That's an old record. Right, no, we don't want this season. I honestly thought that was genuine. Youngest player, yeah, that's still Derek Foster. Oldest player, still Stanley Matthews, of course. Fastest goal was Shane Long in 2019, apparently. Youngest goal scorer, Macaulay Richards. Oldest, wow, he's 15 and 322 years old. He now plays for Leyton Orient, so there you go. He played a few Premier League games, and then all of a sudden has gone out on loan to League One. But he looks like he's going to be a special player, which is nice to see. But anyway, we were sidetracked there. So that was Longinus Chukwu, but Colin Squires has come and broke his... Oh, he's English as well. Crikey. Wow, England have produced some good players. Look at that. That's decent consistency as well. I don't think he's as good as Chukwu, but look at those average ratings. That's very, very impressive. But yeah, that brings us to the sort of final part of the predictions videos, where I like to look at the major transfers and what has happened over the history of the save, if you like. So if we go into that and have a little look at the major clubs, so you can see how that's changed. Miguel Antonio, I mean, a lot of them play for Man City, to be fair. But if we go into major transfers and then filter, can we do all? I can't quite remember how we do it now. Was it? I feel like it's in transfers, but I'm sure there's a way you can see all transfers. Might be wrong. You guys can let me know down in the comments. So 64 million this year. Let's sort of keep going back so you can see 161, 128, 127. So it was 168, wasn't it? Was the biggest. 183 there for Paul Bell, who is still playing actually. Is he any? I mean, you know, he hasn't ever went over a 7 average rating, yet he sold for £183 million to Everton from Brighton, considering he'd been bought for 84 million there, 72 million there, and then he went for 39.5 million to La Liga, and then free transfers for the rest of his career. I mean, it doesn't seem that good if I'm honest with you. 175 there. Yeah, there's not much craziness going on, but it'll be interesting to... Oh, wow, 217 million. Jose Luis Grau. I mean, again, we can't see his average ratings, but he doesn't look like the absolute best player of all time. We can't quite see his career stats. I wish that was something we could see. So 217 million is the record. When does the global market pick up? That's what I'm interested in. When do we start seeing these hundreds of £1 million signings? What? Oh, 300 million for Ryan Gravenberch from Liverpool to... oh, hang on, he's a real player. He's a real player. Get him, buy him. Ryan Gravenberch for Ajax is apparently going to go for 300 million from Liverpool to Paris Saint-Germain. That is quite absurd, and I don't think... No, we can't see his history, unfortunately. Right, let's keep going. So that was in 2029. Because apparently the market won't take... Well, it'll take a while to pick up. I mean, you can see 2021, 83 million was the most spent. But it didn't take long. You know, maybe 5 years or so before people were paying obscene amounts of money for players. But that is where we're going to leave it for this Football Manager 2021 Predicting the Future video. 50 years in the future, of course. We've done a nice half-an-hour video on it. Please let me know down in the comments if there's any more things you would like to see in future videos. The next one will be 100 years in the future, and that will possibly be out over the weekend. I'm going to keep simulating this forward. I love doing stuff like this and seeing how it has changed, and it really is those special moments where you see a player has sold for £300 million and he's actually a real player. That's the most bizarre thing, but that is where we're going to leave it for today. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you hit the thumbs up button down below. Subscribe so that you don't miss an episode of Football Manager 2021. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.